Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the West Ham Daily. Thank you all for joining me. Um, bit of an update today on transfers. I mean, we kind of keep waiting and waiting for the news to come about any potential signings, and as each day goes by, there's really not an awful lot of news to give you. So I can only give you the sort of information that. Sorry about the camera; it fell. Of course, there's always got to be something wrong, isn't there? I can only give you the information that's out there at the moment, and give you a few updates and so on. So, but before I do that, there's an awful lot of comments in here, so let's have a look and see who's in. Is it Stell today? It is. Good evening, Vinay. How are you? Clive doesn't care. He just wants to party. Hello, mate. I hope you're well. Good evening to you, Rob. Let's all laugh at Tottenham. I don't know what happened. Have they I genuinely, I've been busy today, so I don't know what happened there. I'm guessing they lost. I'm not on mute, am I? No, I'm not. That's good enough. Evening all. Howard, how are you, mate? Good evening to you, Pete, as well. Still, Rusty J. Yep, thank you. Gaza, hello, mate. I hope you're well. Um, uh, Stel, DJ, Rusty, and Anton. Just Stel tonight, Robert, if that's okay with you. Um, Hammerette, how are you? Good evening, all. Good evening to you as well. I hope you're well, Hammerette. Uh, Watching Only Connect while I'm waiting. What's Only Connect? Is that a film or I've got no idea. Good evening, Pat Marn. How are you, mate? Nice of you to join us. Lucas, hello, mate. We have to play Liverpool at home 2 days after a Euro. Don't worry about that. I've just booked my three. Oh, for anyone that's a season ticket holder, a deal came out today. Book your first three European games for a knockdown price. I think they took about a fiver off, but that'll do. And man, don't worry, Lucas. We'll be fine. And then Man United, don't worry, Lucas. It's all good. It's all good. um, Neil, hello, mate. How are you? Only 36% battery on your phone. If this goes on long enough, I'm going to have to get up and find my charger. You better go and get your charger now before I carry on because you know what my shows are like. I try and say they're only going to be half an hour, and 3 hours later, you're still listening to me. Gaza, don't look good at the moment, but I'm more confident in signing Lingard. I'm not bothered about Zouma. I'll give you all the update stories as I can. It's like, oof, what can we say? Harry, hello, mate. Any Lingard news coming up, mate? Good evening to you, Neil. I hope you're well. 6:30 a.m. to the man who never sleeps. Thanks for joining, mate. Much appreciated. Hello there to you, Father Snowman. I hope you're well. Alfie, hello to you as well. Um, who else have we got? Good evening, Happy Hammer. Evening to you, mate. I hope you're very well. Danya, the timekeeping is poor. Are we in extra time? You know me, mate. You know me. Do you know? Oh God, my glasses over there. You know what I'm like, mate. I do try and get on time, but anyway. Daniela, how are you? I hope you're well. Thank you for joining. Did they? What was the score? I bet they don't even want to play in Europa, whatever it is, conference. Good evening to you, Scott. Not on purpose, although many people think it is. Howard, I'm not that keen on Chelsea rejects, but Zuma will add to our cover in any key area. In a key area, of course, we all want Lingard. Yeah, yeah, coming to those, mates. Let's scroll down. Good evening to you, NWO. How are you? Forget Jesse. It's oh no, 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 no. You never know. You never know. I wouldn't say that just yet. Um, who else have we got? Kimbo, hello, mate. I hope you're well. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining. What else have we got? Harry again. Love still, who knows what is on about speaking about West Ham. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. There's a lot of people that think I don't know what I'm talking about, but I appreciate that. Thunder and Joy. Hello, mate. Oi, oi. How are you? Good evening, Kent. I hope you're well, mate. Thanks for the emails. I hope we can sort out that ticket, those ticket questions for you. Luke De Jong flopped at Newcastle. I like Thuram. His class would fit like a glove. I'm going to come to them in a minute because it's quite interesting what's coming out of Mönchengladbach. Jason, hello, mate. I hope you're well. Jason Carroll Harper, thanks for joining, mate. Adam Keeley, thank you very much. Let's get, what are we on? 139 people. Let's get 100. Let's just get 100 likes, and I'll leave happy, and yeah, well, I'll leave happy. Happy Hammer. Lost again. The Portuguese bin men 1-0. Everyone stop what you're doing and laugh at the Spuds. Don't laugh at them too quickly, because I don't want us to lose the same way when we play Europe. But Jay Wood is, yeah, I know. Jay Woods, I'm buzzing for Monday, 2-1 win. Yeah, I know. It's going to be first game back after all the COVID stuff, etc. You know, under the lights. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. David M, hello, mate. Thank you for joining. I hope you're well. Man United and Liverpool will also be busy. Yeah, don't worry about who we're playing. Dan, I know, Dan, you know, I just got the message. I was told there was no show on tonight. Apparently, we've got a clash of shows. But I did ask, have we got any shows planned tonight? And I was told no. So I think there might be another one going on at the same time. Sorry, Russ. I thought there wasn't anything happening. Adam Cole, hello to you. And it was too late. I already started before I saw the comments. Thanks for joining, Adam Cole. I hope you're well. Good evening, Gary. How are you, mate? I'm not getting my hopes up. You know, only get your hopes up when we're winning. Well, no, get your hopes up anyway. Jill Jane, hello, Jill. How are you? Thank you for joining. Much appreciated. Liam, apparently Moyes was the one that pulled. Yep, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. I wonder if he's done that because he knew he was going to get Zouma. Going to talk about that in a moment. I'm a bit thirsty, so I don't want to leave a blank screen, but my glass is over there. So you're going to have to just give me 1 second, aren't you? Amateur. I'm just an amateur. You know, I'm just like, well, I'll never get anything organised. Clive, still speak. Please say hello to Jack and Cameron. Hello, Jack and Cameron. Thank you for joining. I hope you're well. Clive, who are they? Let me know. I can't just say hi to Jack and Cameron now. I don't know who they are. Lee, hello, mate. How are you? Yeah, we all love Neil from Down Under, and we all love you as well, mate, because we know what London is, don't we? Edward Wise, hello, mate. I thought Lingard signed. No, not yet. Alfie, I think Zouma will be massive for us. I'm going to talk about him in a moment. Yanka, hello, mate. I hope you're well. Thank you for joining as well. Edward Wise, well, everybody loves somebody sometimes. Are you singing a song to me? Epic. Jesse is the new Yarmolenko, 28 years old, a decent player right now, but in a year or two, we can't get rid of him. Only if he starts getting a whole load of injuries, Epic. Vinay, the Fantastic Four, Antonio, Benny, Fornals, and Bowen. Antonio, Benny, Fornals, and Bowen. Need Lingard to make it 5. I agree. You know, and I did ask you all the question the other day. If we get Lingard, who would you drop out of those 4? And no one really wanted to commit. Gaza, let's sign Fabio Carvalho. He's not in the show. Happy Hammer. Could you put a link in to become a member, please? I could if I can I could if I remembered it, which I don't. It's on the YouTube. If you've already subscribed to our channel on YouTube, it's in there. It's in there somewhere. Or if anybody knows it, can you please put a link in for Happy Hammer, because I'm shit at these things. I'm really, really sorry. Good evening, Fo. How are you, mate? Nice of you to join. Edward Wise, Happy Hammer. Have you heard of Dino? Hammerette, have you heard of Dino? Answer the man. Harry, Antonio's a warrior. Yeah, I know. As Jamaica football will be approaching, need a striker. Even Jesse could do the job. Absolutely agree. Steve Hill, hello, mate. Thank you for joining. I hope you're well. Dan, still, they're going to try and get you with far. Yeah, so did you. Dan, is the other show finished? I feel really guilty now. I did ask. Have we got a show on tonight? No. Okay, I'm going to do a show. Rhonda and Tony, how are you? I hope you're well. Thank you for joining. You know what I'm going to say? It's jumped. Let's scroll back up. Will X, good evening to you. Everyone, bad news about Dennis. Oh, no. Don't tell me another great has died. I didn't know that. So if that is the case, then you know, God rest it. I remember seeing Dennis Law play, and I'm that old. And great player. All right, it wasn't a West Ham player, but it doesn't matter. When a legend is a legend, great player. So if it is what I'm thinking, what you're saying, Will, rest in peace, Dennis Law. Great player. Lucas, West Ham United are plotting a late swoop for Montpellier. Our foe would be happy. For Montpellier striker Gaetan Laborde, the 27-year-old, scored 16 goals, picked up 8 assists last season, could cost £11 million. We've been linked to him. Great. And he was going to be in the show, and then I didn't have time to add him. We've been linked to him for over a year and a half, and we still haven't signed him. So I'm not so sure how much truth there is in that story. But thanks for that, Lucas. Much appreciated. Jason, wonder which show is the most. I have no idea. I genuinely don't. Oh God, if Russ is in the chat, I'm going to be crucified. Tom, I still think Pellegrini is reckless spending a set us back 3 years. That's why Moyes is cautious with money. I agree. I think Moyes is cautious with money anyway. But what Pellegrini did, it has set us back. £100 million or so spent, and almost all of those players are gone. Gary, I mean, not getting my hopes up. Oh, about transfers. I know, mate. I know. Moyes has tried to, address it, hasn't he? He's kind of trying to ease us in gently to not having any players at all. Such a shame. Lakey, good evening to you. Stowe, have you seen this guy called Dyer? I know of him and the day's banter, talking rubbish and lies, leading all the fans into false hope. As I always say to all of you, take everything you see or hear with a pinch of salt. Me included. I've been called out. I was called out on Facebook earlier today about that player from Bournemouth. Can't remember his name. I did a story about him. I think in not this last week's show, I think. And I said, there was interest in him, and now he's gone and signed for some other club abroad. But I never say, hand on heart, I really know that something's going to happen, and I really know, and I can guarantee you. So I don't know. I haven't watched Dyer, to be honest with you. I know the other guys on the in West Ham Network are aware of him. They know him. I don't know what he says, but yeah. Always take everything with a little bit pinch of salt, as I always tell you. Hammerwell, Clash of Shows is a good thing still, gives us choice of what we want to watch. Oh, maybe we'll do it again then. But it divides the numbers. I'm up to 215 watches, so now I'm going to go from 150 likes, if that's okay with you people. So do it. Hit the thumbs up. Look, Jelly Deals has. Hit that thumbs up for me. I'll be really happy. Rusty boy, it was my fault. Sorry, still. I'll take the yellow card. Sorry, mate. I'm really sorry. Can we I don't even know what it was. Can we rerun it again, if that's all right, mate? I am sorry, mate. Sorry. Good evening, Billy Bob. How are you? Foe. Toby, how was the gigolo? How was the gigolo? Oh, the gigolo gig. I was getting a bit worried there, Toby. How was the gigolo? What are you up to, mate? What's going on? Oh, right. Thank you. My son Jack and his mate. Good evening to you, chaps. I hope you're well. Are they watching? I guess they're watching. Lee, London is claret and blue, mate. And what's more, we are massive. Absolutely. Kent, 3 signings before end of window. I'll take it. I think we're going to have to accept 2, and we might even have to accept 1. And there might be a possibility that we're going to have to accept none. But you never know. You just never know. Tommy, good evening, mate. Sitting in my car waiting for my pizza to be ready. I was so busy all evening, I forgot to have dinner. I eat late, but that's late, mate. I hope you're well, though. And I hope the pizza's nice. Please do not have pineapple. Please tell me you haven't got pineapple on the pizza. You cannot have pineapple on the pizza. So I hope you haven't, mate. I'll be really upset if you have pineapple on the pizza. It just doesn't happen. It's not meant to happen. Should never have happened. But there you go. Toby, how are you? It's a little job in Westfield, Thunderbirds, little chicken place, easy money. You just, you just crack on. What happened there? What was unplugged? You're gonna have to give me a minute because it looks like I've been unplugged. I'm in the stream with audio only. Let's just see if I can get myself back on. It's never a dull moment. You wouldn't get this with Russ. Russ is a professional. Russ has got everything plugged in correctly. He's never late for a show and all that sort of stuff. Me, I'm on mute. My camera comes off. I'm late, but it's what you expect, isn't it? 232. I'm sure I'm going to get at least half a dozen thumbs down now. Garino, hello, mate. Thank you for joining. I hope you're well. Right, so Kent, don't worry, Sterling. It's only a rerun of My Hammers 11 that people should already watch. Don't worry about your life. No, it's all good. Sorry, Russ. I'm sure. I'm sorry. I hope you can see and hear me now. Yes, you can. So let's get on with the show. So who would you have? Well, someone mentioned Antonio. And we were all worried in the summer because we thought he was going to be called to the to play in the Gold Cup for Jamaica. Now, apparently, well, it seems that all the papers didn't go through for some reason. He didn't get his Jamaican passport or whatever it is that you need to, play for your international team. But it's all sorted now, and he could well be called up to play in the next few World Cup qualifiers for Jamaica. And Jamaica have got 3 games in a space of 7 days between the 3rd and 9th of September, away to Mexico, Costa Rica, and Panama. And then there are a further 2 games in October in 3 days between the 8th and the 10th of October to the USA and Canada. Now, I mean, we haven't signed a striker. Antonio could be playing an extra 5 games if he's selected. I mean, what are the chances, eh? What are the chances that he's gonna it'll be all right? Well, we just kind of know it won't be because he might get through the 5 games and then he might end up, pulling a hammy in the next game he plays for West Ham. It's like I think, like I said before, before the summer, of course you're going to want all your players to play internationals. You want them to be recognised for the ability they have, etc., etc. But it's scary. It really is scary that he could potentially play another 5 games and so many in such a short succession. I mean, the September ones scare me. From the 3rd to the 9th, inclusive, there are 3 games, and if he's selected, oh dear. I mean, what? I mean, great for him. But yeah, we're shitting ourselves. Let's be really honest. Let's be really honest. Scott R. Jamaica needs him. The most underrated team, Canada. Carl, you keep calling about. I know. But so, what do you think? I mean, Jamaica may need him, but I think we need him more. And what else we got? Uh, Anton, if only you could see Stell's setup. Yeah, well, at least I didn't throw my kids out of their playroom in order to set myself up, mate. So right, so yeah, so we've got Antonio, and who else? Well, let's run through them. Let's start off with the defenders, shall we? Because we all heard today, I'm sure you have all heard, that Milenkovic has signed a deal. He's signed. Milenkovic has signed an extended contract with Fiorentina. Did you hear that? Yep. So the deal's dead. We all knew that. And he signed an extended contract for another year with Fiorentina today. And despite people making bold claims that he was sitting behind my screen here, waiting to go to Canary Wharf and do his medical, he wasn't. There you go. He was actually still in Fiorentina. He was still in Italy, getting picked for Fiorentina. And he signed a 1-year extended contract. Now, look, here's my take on it. And it's only my take. Before all the rumors started about, him, being linked to West Ham and whoever else, Fiorentina were already trying to get the player to sign an extended deal with them anyway. The player seemed at that time not to want to, because apparently I think the likes of Juventus were sniffing around him. I think it was Juventus, could have been Inter, I don't know, but I think it was Juventus. And then when no offers came in from a bigger club in Italy, it looked like the player and his agent decided to start entertaining approaches from clubs outside of Italy. Along came West Ham. We agreed a price with the club. We agreed terms with the player, and then the agent came along and said, "I want big demands. I don't care what the value is. It's all water under the bridge now." But that put the deal on the slopes, and David Moyes started to go, "Hang on a minute, maybe I don't want Milenkovic." And maybe he saw something or noticed something that didn't quite fit into the Moyes ethos of what it's like to be a West Ham player in his squad. And then apparently Moyes decided to start looking at Kurt Zouma again, whilst trying to keep the Milenkovic deal on the boil. Along came Spurs, and that came to nothing. And now, as I said, it's been confirmed that Milenkovic has signed a new deal. Now, possibly be that the player and the agent looked at the deal, didn't think that the West Ham deal was that appealing, and thought, well, we'll play along, see how it goes, and then see what comes of it. And now what's come of it is Fiorentina have turned around and gone, here's a better deal for you. Now, call me cynical, but Milenkovic now will be at Fiorentina for a season on top of the one he was at. So another 2 years, which means that instead of him going to a team like West Ham for £14 million, he'll probably be worth around 25 to £30 million, and bigger clubs might start sniffing around him. It's been rumoured before that bigger clubs were sniffing around him, and maybe this is something that they're holding out for. So one wonders whether this was all part of the bigger plan. His agent will be happy if he goes to a bigger club, a lot more money, a bigger fee for him, etc., etc. His agent will be happy, Milenkovic will be happy, and the club will be happy. It's a win-win for them. The only thing that is only a loss for West Ham. But is it a loss? Has David Moyes done the right thing by procrastinating in this time, in this moment in time? Perhaps he was right to do so, because the one thing that Moyes wants is a player that's going to fit into that structure, the West Ham structure. He doesn't want anyone to come in thinking he's, bigger than anyone else. And I just wonder if Milenkovic thinks he is better. He believes he's better than West Ham, and maybe he is holding out for a bigger club. And now that he's been given that extended contract, it could happen. It could happen that a bigger team might come in for him. I don't know. Maybe they've played us. Maybe they haven't. I don't really know. But it all stinks a little bit. But let's forget about him, because there are other players now that we are still being linked to. And of course, the first one is Zouma. Chelsea, we know all about him. Chelsea centre back, contract till 2023, valued at around £25 million, 26 years of age. I mean, he's got strengths. A lot of people are quite marmite on him. They either like him or they don't. But he's good at high pressing, can play at the high defensive line. He's very pacey, gets close to attackers, denying them space, provides decent cover for his fullbacks. He's got a good passing range, long crossfield passes, and one of the best aerial dual success rates in the Premier League in the past. Physical and aggressive. In fact, when you start thinking about his strengths, he is a Moyes type of footballer. He's the type of footballer that Moyes likes to play a high line. But when the one thing that we've suffered from is when we do play a high line and we get caught out, retrieving, getting back quickly enough, it just doesn't sometimes happen for us. Or like things like I remember the Liverpool goal. Was it the season before last when they scored from a corner? When we had a high line, we had a corner, we lost the ball, and then they scored after about 4 touches, getting it from their box to ours. Someone like Zuma, could help in that area, in that part of the park. And quite maybe, just maybe, we see him more as a Moyes type player, and maybe that's why he wants to. Moyes is pushing for him. Now, all right, we hear about the money that Zuma wants. Apparently he wants 100 grand a week, 120 grand a week or something. But if we can agree a deal with him, I don't think we'll go to 100. I doubt very much we'll pay 100 grand a week. And why should we? And that's not the board being tight. That's just the way it is. Like every club, West Ham have got a pay structure. You start breaking that pay structure as we did under Pellegrini, and then the floodgates open. He's a half decent player. He's got Premier League experience, Champions League experience. He's an international. Why not? Why not? If we pay 25 million for him, would it not be 25 million pounds well spent? Still 26 years of age. Still could get some money back for him if we do sign him. I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe Moyes has got his heart set on him, but there are alternatives. Again, Duj Caleta-Car, however you want to pronounce his name, Marseille centre back, contract till 2023, valued at around 20 million, 24 years of age. Another player with some great strengths, good commanding 6'4" presence in central defence, great mobility and strength. He was ranked second in the French league for aerial duels, one, and good ball distribution again. Again, his stats are decent, and we saw for ourselves during the Euros. He kept Harry Kane quiet. And okay, Harry Kane didn't necessarily have the best starts to the Euros, but it takes some going, to keep a player like that quiet. Now, is he a possibility? Well, we got to look at what's going on in France, and we got to understand that the financial situation and the football's in meltdown there. They've lost their football, their TV deals, and another company came in, but that didn't quite work. And everything is sort of up in the air. And every other day, or not every other day, every day you actually hear of yet another club looking to sell their players from France. It's rumored that well, not rumored, we did apparently put a bid in last year for him. But he chose to stay at Marseille in order to play Champions League football. Fair play. Fair play. What were we offering? We just got out of, just avoided relegation the season before last. So why would he have come to West Ham when he had the opportunity to play for Marseille in the Champions League? And fair play. But however, Marseille now this year, they're on our level. Well, they're in Europe. They're in the Europa League. Now, this, I've just said this 24-year-old has still got 2 years left on his contract, and maybe, just maybe, with the meltdown that's going on, Marseille are looking maybe to offload players. And Sanson, he went to Aston Villa recently, and they can get a bit of money for Caleta-Car, then why not? American billionaire Frank McCourt bought the club back in 2016 for a modest 45 million pounds. He set about trying to improve their fortunes, and he threw 200 million pounds over 4 years at players. In fact, in the first season that he bought the club, Dimitri Payet went back to Marseille. And they have spent money, and it worked for a while. They've qualified. They qualified for the Champions League in 2019-20. They got to the final of the Europa League, and they did quite well. But in the Champions League, they set a new record. They set a record of 13 defeats in the Champions League, and the fans became restless. Apparently, there were violent riots, and Villas Lobos, remember him at the time, was sacked because of it. So Caleta-Car has been there. He's seen the best of it, qualifying for Europe, etc., qualifying for Champions League, and he's seen the worst of it as well. Now he earns a modest £45,000 a week, and he's valued, as I said, around £20 million. Maybe a cheeky bid, 14, 15 million with add-ons might do it. It's not bad. I mean, he's a half decent player again. The right age, 24 years of age, got years ahead of him. If he does well, again, he's another player that we can sell for a profit. But I don't know. It looks like Zouma is definitely the favoured one, and Caleta-Car could be a close second. There are other players. I think it was Lazin Zarvin. I think it was from PSG. We've been linked to him again this week, but yet again, he was linked to us under the Pellegrini era. So I haven't bothered with that one because it's just going to be more rubbish, really. So let's go on to Jesse Lingard. I mean, whoops, excuse me, Jesse Lingard. I mean, the rumors keep flying around. Apparently, according to people, he signed for us because someone saw something on some Premier League website. For fuck's sake. I mean, I'm sorry to swear, but it's just boring, isn't it? That's why it gets really annoying when people do make statements. I know for a fact of this. Now, look, it could be that Jesse Lingard will sign for us. It could be. It might actually happen. But it's a little bit premature when you start saying that I've seen something on some website and that is that. And here's the odd thing. he wasn't even signed. He was on loan. Now, this is the bit I don't get, and I've talked about this before, and I have been called out for it. I did say I have been called out. You know, I think Eamon said it. Thank you, Scott. Much appreciated, mate. Thank you for becoming a member. Now, I was called out for it by Eamon Green a few weeks back, and I think the other day as well, because I talked about players going out on loan from West Ham in the last year of their contracts, but they're all under 23s. And here's the difference: with an under 23 player, you go out and you try and prove yourself for the last year. That could lead to another contract, an extended contract with West Ham. But no Premier League club are going to loan a player out when they're in their last year of a contract. Not a senior player anyway. I mean, what would be the benefit? Saving themselves what, £5 million in player fees? I don't think so, because that's what Man United will save. They'll save about 5 million. All right, they might get a few million on top of that to loan Lingard out, so they'll save themselves about 7 million. Well, look, why not just sell the player for 15 million? There you go, you've doubled your money, or 20 million, or whatever it may be. So this stuff about, Lingard coming on loan just doesn't work. It doesn't work. He's in his last year of his contract. Someone mentioned about Origi, and I put it on my show the other day about Origi coming on loan to West Ham, last year of his contract. It doesn't make sense. Why would a club do that? Just to save themselves a few million on wages? I don't think so. So anyway, Lingard, apparently earlier this week, um, he signed for us, and it was all done and dusted, wasn't it? Well, not really, because Lingard played in a private game. What day are we? We're Thursday. I think he played in a behind closed doors game for Man United for players who didn't play in the first Premier League game. And Lingard, we know, has just come back from COVID, so he needs match fitness and so on and so forth. He did. There you are. Thank you. And he scored a goal. And so if he was already on loan to us, or if he's going to come to us now, don't you think that Solskjaer's going to wrap him up in cotton wool so that he doesn't get injured? He's not going to put him in a bloody reserves game or a behind the closed doors game, is he? So is it happening? I think it will. But I think this is the dilemma that we're in. I think Moyes is thrown all his eggs in one basket. He's gone. It's Jesse Lingard. I'm not even thinking about anyone else. It's just Jesse Lingard, and he kind of said it at the end of the season. He's kind of even though he says I don't want to talk about other players from other teams, but still alluded to it. Stuart Pearce came out and said we want him back. Darren Randolph did a thing on his whatever Instagram or whatever. Everybody wants him back. It's the worst kept secret. But will it happen? Will it actually happen? Now, here's the dilemma. I think Moyes is going to wait until the last minute. I think it's between Man United and West Ham as who's going to blink first. For Man United, they know that once this transfer window shuts, they've lost any money that they can get on Lingard, because all this stuff about offering him an extended contract, where is it? Where's the extended contract? Lingard has not been offered an extended contract. So they're playing a game of dice. Because they'll wait and wait and wait. And if Lingard doesn't sign an extended contract, or if they don't sell him, they know they've got a player that's worth nothing to them, because what he'll do is he'll sign a pre-contract agreement in January and go off for nothing. So they're playing a dicey game. But then so are West Ham United. West Ham will know that they've got to make a move for Lingard sooner or later, because when that window shuts, and if Moyes has thrown all his eggs in that Lingard basket, that means there's going to be no one else. That means we're not going to have a backup. Antonio off to play for Jamaica. I mean, God forbid he pulls a hamstring. Then what? Then we're going to have to really start relying on the youth. Oko Flex or Thierry Neves or whoever it may be, Odubeko, whoever, because we'll have no other options. So if David Moyes, I mean, I want him to pull something out of the bag. I really do. And when people are going, well, it's the board, it's the board. Well, you know what? It's a bit of both. And I did mention it the other night in my show. It's a little bit of both. It's about Moyes procrastinating and holding tight for Lingard, but it is about the board, because they got to go out and do the deal as well. And maybe they do fuck it up every now and again. Sullivan ain't the best wheeler. Well, he thinks he's great, but he's not. So maybe a combination of the two could be the worst thing for us. Moyes procrastinating, Sullivan doing shit deals. But in this case, I think it's Moyes. I think when it comes to Lingard, it's down to Moyes. It's down to David Moyes. He's waiting and waiting and waiting. He needs to make a move. He needs to throw that dice and make a move. If that's who he wants, then great. Now, I talked about Lingard on Monday in the show. in the West Ham Weekly. And well, how does that impact on Benrahma, etc.? It can work. It can work because we are going to need cover for Antonio. We are going to need, playing that false number 9, and you can put Lingard and Bowen and Fornals and Benrahma all on the pitch at the same time. You've got Fornals out on the left, Benrahma in the middle, Lingard out on the right, and Bowen up front. You can do it. It can be done. Or they can all mix, take turns and mix around. That's the other beauty of those 4 players. So we know that Lingard will work, but David Moyes, mate, do something. If that's who you want, get a bid in, make a bid, get that player signed, because it's getting a little bit worrying now. And if you're not going to do it, well, who's next? Well, we've got other players, haven't we? There's today in the news, Luke De Jong, 30-year-old Sevilla striker. Nah, strengths. I've looked for his strengths. He primarily plays on the. No, he doesn't, because that is not him. So I'm going to take that off. I haven't updated it, have I? He's a striker, 30 years of age. I'll tell you who it is. I'll tell you who plays primarily on the left. There you go. Marcus Thuram plays primarily on the left, and I forgot to update Luke De Jong details. So Luke De Jong doesn't play out on the left. He's a striker, but at 30 years of age. I mean, I don't know. I read this story. Clearly, I didn't read it properly enough, because I just don't think he's the sort of player we want. We don't want, with the greatest of respect, we don't want a player who's coming to the prime or past his prime. I'd rather go for a younger player, rather go for someone a little bit more dynamic, that's going to bring, it's going to grow with the team and sort of get the goals that we need. And I don't think Luke De Jong is the one. And now I've given the game away. Who are we going to get from Borussia Mönchengladbach? Because strangely enough, there's 2 players. Marcus Thuram, contracted again till 2023, 24 years of age, valued at around about £30 million. Primarily plays on the left, not Luke De Jong, but him. But he can play in the striker role. But his approach to the play is he hugs the touchline. Good dribbling skills, great acceleration, good pace. Likes to do a few tricks on the ball, all the step overs, etc. And his weakness is he can get caught out of possession, not always the best decision maker for crossing. God, am I talking about Arthur Masuaku, or am I talking about Marcus Thuram? Marcus Thuram is a more of a winger, whereas we know Masuaku is also more of a winger. No, but in all seriousness, I don't think this is a Moyes type of player. 40 appearances last season in all competitions for Gladbach, 11 goals, 12 assists. Bundesliga, Champions League, international experience, France international. I don't know. I really don't think that he'll be the sort of player that David Moyes would be that interested in. But interestingly enough, there's another player that we are apparently in for at Gladbach, or Gladbach, Bark, or whatever you want to call it. Alassane Player. Contracted, guess what, till 2023, valued at around 20 to 25 million pounds, 28 years of age. He can play up front, or he can play along the attacking line. Very mobile, can receive the ball between the lines to create space, will drop and help the midfield in defending from the front. Good technical skills, brings other players into the game with his movement. He's a strong player, bit like Antonio. Much closer to an Antonio type player, certainly, than Thuram. And his appearances and stats for last season in all competitions: 39, 12 goals, 5 assists. So less assists than Thuram, but a more, one would say, a more all-rounded player, a player that is more than likely going to fit into David Moyes' thinking at West Ham United, and he'll be a much closer fit to West Ham than Thuram will. But it looks to me that the 2 players that Moyes has got, seems to have his heart set on, as I've said already, in defence is Kurt Zouma, and attacking is Jesse Lingard. We know what Lingard can do. He did it for us last season in 16 appearances, 9 goals and 5 assists. Champions League, Premier League, international experience. We don't need to list all his strengths. We've seen them for ourselves. A lot of people say he faded away at the end of the season. I still maintain I think he was tired. Hadn't played for 6 months. Came to play for West Ham. Started off like a rocket. You're bound to slow down. It's just only natural. And I think he just ran out of steam. But having a full season with us, could be a very, very different proposition. So that's it. A little bit of an update. And let's see who we got in the chat. I'll go as far up as I can. As far up as I can. Harry, you know what? I'm going to have a little sip. So, oh, excuse me. Cheers, everyone. Harry Newick. To be honest, I'd rather sign Jesse. Rather Jesse sign first, as other teams are targeting him. I actually don't think any. I know he's been linked to what is it, Everton lately, and a few others. I think if he does leave and he stays in the Premier League, he won't go anywhere else but to us. If he goes abroad, maybe I don't know. But in regards to the Premier League, if he's going to leave Man United for any other club that's in the Premier League, it'll be West Ham. Russ, a few more members and we can put up more emojis. Thank you very much. If you haven't become a member, Russ or Anton, are you still on the chat? Put up the details for how to become a member because I don't know. Liam, Anton said on the last show how hard working you were. Me in particular, thank you, Anton. It's nice of him. He doesn't normally say anything nice about me. Do we have a like target? I did say, well, I've got 329 watching now. So I did say 100. And then when we hit 200, I said, all right, 150. But I reckon it's got to be 300 likes. All right, let's not be greedy. 250 likes. If you haven't hit that like button yet, then please do so. And that'd be very much appreciated. Mihailo, hello, mate. Hope we can get Labordi for striker. You lots. I must be the only one that doesn't like him. I do apologise. Foe, you'll have to tell me all about him, mate, because I haven't really set my heart on him. But then I'll tell you for why. Because I said we were linked to him when Pellegrini was here, and when I remember looking at his stats about a year and a half ago, they weren't that impressive. They were pretty poor, actually. But yeah, Montpellier striker. A lot of people are talking about him. So maybe I ought to do my research and find out a bit more about him. Irish Tommy, my worry is that we're missing out on quality players that we won't be able to attract next summer if we don't qualify for Europe again. It's a really, really good point, mate. A really good point because this is the time, isn't it? That we should be sort of really pushing to get some quality players in. I can't help feeling. I know. I mean, people are split over this. Is it because of Moyes or is it because of the board? I can't help feeling that's an awful lot to do with David Moyes, who wants certain types of players. They have to fit into a certain very, very small box for him. And if they don't, he changes his mind. We've heard this a few times now that he'll go for a player and then for whatever reason he goes, no, I don't want him. And this is why we keep yo-yoing back and forth to Zouma. I think Zouma does fit. Moyes has gone. Zouma. Look at the players that we apparently put bids in for. We put bids in for the Burnley player, Tarkowski. In a way, similar type of player to Zouma in his, in the way he plays his defensive line. Yeah, and would Moyes have signed Issa Diop? No. Moyes would never have signed Issa Diop. If he had that transfer kitty back then, because he wasn't. It doesn't look to be a Moyes type of player. And look, Dawson and Ogbono are preferred to Diop. Diop is third choice. The only time Diop comes in is when one of the other two players are injured. So you kind of get a feeling as to what type of player David Moyes wants. And Zouma seems to fit the bill much, much more than other defenders. It seems to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. I usually talk crap. So if you think I am, then please say so. Rhonda and Tony, maybe with the squad and the under-23s looking so happy with great club spirit that Moyes and his team are happy to run with what they got for this year plus Lingard. I'll tell you what though. Yes, good point. But I'd be very worried if we don't get at least a centre back. Yeah, cheers, Anton. Yeah. Stop it. You're interfering with the viewers' comments, mate. That would be a very, very risky, a big gamble if Moyes did that. Moyes himself, at the end of last season, said 3 positions: centre back, attacking midfielder, striker. It was him that said that. So we're hoping that we're going to get 3 players. I just don't think it will happen. I think it will be Lingard and Zouma, and we'd be done. That'll be done. That would be a £45 million spend. 25 on Zouma, 20 on Lingard, and that will be our lot. And then we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Garino. Lee, trust Moyes. Don't trust the guy holding the purse strings to get the players. Moyes wants as the usual deep postures. But this is my. I've got problem with this. Not because I love Sullivan or anything like that, but they have spent money. It's just that they've spent it in such a bad way over the years. That and when they did spend money, they gave Pellegrini and Huselos a fucking open purse. Go on then, out you go and buy players, and we get all these players that look great for half a minute, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I was still an Anderson fan, I was still a Allaire fan. I still maintain to this day, I still think that we should have at least kept Allaire. I think we could have fitted him into the system, but Moyes didn't want him. Not a Moyes type of player. Anderson, not a Moyes type of player. Diop, third choice. The only one that seems to have been successful is Fornals. Fornals. But why has Fornals been successful? Because he's worked hard to play the Moyes style of way. When Fornals came in, we thought he was going to be on par with Lanzini. They were going to be switched. Who was going to be picked first? Was it the attacking midfielder Lanzini, or was the attacking midfielder of Fornals? Look at Lanzini now. Lanzini, for injuries, etc. When he plays, he'll be playing in a deep lying midfield role, carrying the ball forward. And when Fornals plays, he plays out left and does a lot of defensive duties. They've become Moyes style players. Diop is learning. I think he's getting better. I think he's done all right in pre-season, and he will become eventually, if we don't sell him, a Moyes style player. But Allaire, Anderson weren't. And that's why I have issue with this. It's not. I don't think it's because the board aren't spending money. I think the board are willing to spend money, but it's Moyes trying to find the players he wants to fit in his little box. But correct me if you think I'm wrong. Mark Wake, Sullivan record in 11 years is we have 50 strikers. Amber, yeah, because he's been involved. And that's the other interesting thing. A lot of fans are going, Sully, sign player. It's not up to Sullivan. You can't have it both ways. You can't. You're absolutely right, Mark. The record is awful. 50 strikers, in 11 years, and most of them being rubbish. That's because Sullivan has gotten involved. But now, he's going, all right, fair enough. You don't want me involved in signings. That's fine, and rightly so. But now we're not signing anyone. Yeah, piss off, Anton. If you're not going to say anything positive, go home, go to bed. Robert, that's a shame Braithwaite's turned us down. It's not a shame. I hope you were jesting there, mate. Thank goodness for that. I don't know who. Oh God, who won the football prize? Tell us, Clive. The like target was 100. I vote for 150. I'm saying we need 250. Matt again. No way. Oh, I don't know. He's got to give the prize back. He's got to give the prize back. Toby, I might wait. How are you today? You don't seem as cheerful as normal. Don't think anyone is at the moment. And we've done. Thank you, Scott. Much appreciated, mate. Brooking, Benny, and Utah. My God, he's got to give him back, mate. He can't do that. Foe. Still isn't a good listener. We've all asked for hoodie for. Well, now we got them. Oh yeah. Let me show you something. Now, people, look at this. Look, if you like this, yeah, if you like our new logo, look at that. West Ham Network. If you like that, tell us in the chat. And if we get enough people saying, yeah, we like the t-shirt, then who knows? Might get a few made. And I know they're not hoodies, but with the hoodies, get the hoodies with the same logo on. How about that? Let's put that back on. So where are we? Can't see a damn thing without these. Apologies. Right, Braithwaite, big wages ain't happening. Thank God for that. Thank God we're not getting him. Good evening, Yammer the Hammer. How are you? Could be a lot worse. We could have just been turned over by a bottle of aftershave. I guess you're talking about the Spurs result. NWO, he played in Man United reserve game and signed a new Man United contract. It's over. He hasn't signed a new contract unless you know something that I don't. Can anyone tell me? Has he signed? Toby is leaving. Can you wish him a happy anniversary? Happy anniversary, Toby. What is it? Wedding anniversary, mate. Happy anniversary, mate. Have a good one. If anyone can tell me whether Lingard has signed a contract, because I've not heard he has, but he's definitely played in the reserves without a doubt. Um, that's me, Happy Hammer, but it's on my other account for some reason. I'm sure you're just having a nice chat between you. Um, no, I haven't heard it, so let's not. I don't know where you heard it from at NWO, but tell me who the source is. So I'll be very interested. The result against us sometimes our season are going start shit and end up winning. Absolutely. Mialo, Caleta-Car or Zouma both have their strengths. Caleta-Car more potential, Zouma more experience in the Premier League, and for that I think Moyes will get Zouma. Either way, we'll get a good centre back. I agree. I think I like Caleta-Car. I think he would be a good signing for us, and but I think you're right. I think he will prefer Zouma. Kevin, will we get Giroud? Giroud's gone, mate. Giroud's gone to where's he gone? To Italy, into Milan. I think he's gone, isn't he? So he's yeah, he's gone. Thank God. AC Milan. Thank you very much. There you go. Thank God for that. Got rid of Giroud. Braithwaite doesn't want us. All good. It's all good. Think of the shit that could be coming to West Ham, and now they're not. Jay Woods, Occo Flex will fit in well with the first team. I'd be inclined to agree. And maybe, just maybe, Moyes will go, you know what? There's some youngsters here that might just do the job for me. Um, Hammerwell, still, they might have offered us. They might offer the said player a 1-year deal, which equals a 2-year deal. If the club likes him, they will have options to buy him, and the club can still get a decent price. Well, yeah, now that he's there for 2 years, yeah, they can sell him and get much more money for Milenkovic. NWO, more chance of getting by. Come on, mate, have a beer with me and cheer up. Look, here you go. Honestly, NWO. Cheers, fella. Come on, let's be happy. We still haven't lost a game in the Premier League. Let's be happy. Garino, if Zuma wants a pay rise from circa 50 to 100, he can jog on as it will rock the boat massive. I totally and utterly agree. But again, paper talk. We don't actually know if Zuma really wants 100 grand a week. We don't know that. It's only paper talk. And apparently he's on 60 and he wants double, apparently. So 50 to 100, 60 to 120. I don't know. But for me, um, I reckon if we can, all right, if he's on 50, 60 grand a week now, if we say to him, come to us 80 grand a week and bonuses, I think he'd take it. I actually do. I think he'll take it. And he knows he'll get first team football at West Ham. Chelsea are trying to sign Kunde. Is it Kunde? And that means he'll go further down the pecking order. And why would he do that? It's a bit like the Lingard situation. Why would Lingard sit there and be on the subs bench? You know, he keeps asking for, or what we hear, that he wants guaranteed playing time. Solskjaer ain't going to guarantee him anything, you know? So I think that's what it looks like. Moyes is waiting for those two players to me. Um, so I don't know, Garino. I take that with a pinch of salt that he wants that a pay rise by double. Mark Wake, Lingard and Zuma ain't joining us, just false hopes again. Don't know. I think it's quite open at the moment. I think it's quite open. But you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if we don't get them, and it wouldn't surprise me if we do. Um, Garino, if it's a question of who blinks first, that is us. Well, you know, let's blink first. Let's make a bloody offer. Let's put an offer in, and see what happens. We've got to do something. You know, we can't wait to all until the end of the window. There you go. Follow Irish Tommy on Twitter at Tomster36, and he'll follow you back. Brilliant. If I was on Twitter, I'd follow you as well, mate. I wasn't slagging off your show, Days Banter, so I don't know what you're talking about, mate. NWO, any Champions League team could steal Lingard, even bloody Everton. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's it's going to happen. I don't think Lingard will go to Everton over us. Hamret, 200 people are watching that haven't given a thumbs up. Please do. Please hit the thumbs up. West Ham, he was based on Premier League website. I don't know what you're talking about, but I wasn't slagging off anyone's show. Gaza, let's not forget still, Rashford won't be back till after the transfer window. Ole might need Lingard till then. Do you think then, therefore, Gaza, that Lingard will play for Man United until Christmas? And then what? They're going to let him go in January? I don't know. I don't know. Um, Hammerwell. These deals can take weeks and not sorted out the day before. In my opinion, clubs have been trying, and it's Moyes who's holding back. He probably wants to keep it tight, and that's the thing. That's the thing. The Hang on one second. It could be Moyes. It could be Moyes that's holding the deals back, and the way he procrastinates, maybe just that. So let's see what happens over the next few days. Scroll down. Mark. Some players will have been linked just to getting desperate now. Some players we have been linked to just getting desperate now. Time to worry. Well, some of the players that we've been linked to seem to be the same ones. Caleta-Car's been linked. We've been linked to for quite a while. Zouma we've been linked to for quite a while. Lingard we've been linked to for quite a while. Then we got all these other players that are coming along that I mentioned earlier on. You know, players like De Jong and players like Player and players like Turam. You know, these are all new stories. Are they desperate? I don't know, but we've been having so many links to so many different players. It's difficult to know what's right and what's wrong. But I think that it's still Lingard, and I think it's still Zuma. Let's scroll down. Alex Turan will be a naughty striker combo, but I don't think he's the type of player that Moyes really wants. If he's a player that hugs the touchline, does all those tricks, etc., etc. Moyes doesn't like that. Moyes is not really into that. Moyes prefers a player that's a grafter, and it sounds to me that Turam isn't that sort of player. Now, player or play or however you want to pronounce his name, maybe is a much more Moisey type of player. Maybe this Alazane player is more the type of player that David Moyes would prefer, rather than a player like Turam. I don't think Moyes would want a player like Turam. I don't know. If he's a winger and does all his tricks and step overs, etc., I don't think that's the type of player that Moyes would prefer. Um, you can, Russ, mate. You're in charge of merchandise because you'll do better than Anton will. Can we get some t-shirts, mate? Stretch it across the street. No, you know I'm right. You know I'm right. You don't have to take the P. Um, Garino, let's see. Garino, where is Sean Wright Phillips these days, or Good Johnson? You never know. They might come out of retirement. Irish Tommy, don't see Moyes chucking £30 million for any player in this window. No, probably not. Moyes doesn't like spending the money, does he? So I think he'll go up to 25, at a push, but that might be it. Foe. Most West Ham websites refer to the Lingard story. Big mistake on the EPL head office, to be honest. Yeah, it's if that's what went up, then big mistake from them. What else have we got? Toby. Yeah, Foe. It caught loads of people out. Bad glitch. That's caused all sorts of shite. That's why I love this channel. Thank you for that, Toby. Hammerwell. Oh, stop what you're doing and laugh at Spurs. Did they actually lose tonight? I'm guessing that they did. Hammerwell. I think it's a case of the media selling stories and the fans living in hope. No club has been that busy compared to a normal summer window. Maybe Moyes will grab a bargain from the bankrupt clubs. Maybe, and you're right. There hasn't been an awful lot of business going on. There's very few teams have bought very few players. It's jumped, so I apologise. So I'll go as far up as I can. Wouldn't be stop what you're doing. Wouldn't be surprised if Lingard signs a new deal, then comes on loan. Well, that's possible actually. That's a good shout. If he signed an extended contract at Man United and then signed a loan to come to us, yeah, that's a good shout. Um, Gaza, wouldn't it be strange if Antonio stayed fit all season? Bit like Stel not been on. Yeah. Garino, Stel, Moyes had 4 targets and Solomon got none of them. There is an issue, and it doesn't lie with Moyes dithering. We've had 7 months to identify a striker, but so far. Um, Well, we went for El Nesri. Was it last in the last window, and that didn't materialise. I don't know of any other strikers that we've actually gone for that we've definitely bid for, but I know El Nesri was one of them. Caleta-Car, we bid for him last season as well. We bid for Tarkowski, and apparently we were going to go up to what for over 30 million for Tarkowski, and that didn't materialise. Daniela, let's be honest. We've not been that great in the transfer market in the past. Absolutely true. English Yardy, good evening to you, mate. Zuma is Premier League experience. I see why Moyes wants quality over quantity. It makes sense. If we want to sustain where we are, we need quality coming into the squad. In Moyes, we trust. I agree with that, English Yardy, and I think Zuma. I think Zuma would be a decent fit. I really do. Caleta-Car, a good backup, maybe. But all these other players, like I said, I don't know his name, but the PSG player, um, Larvins Zwan or something like that, sounds again like a player that we've been linked to in the past and nothing materialised. Laborde that people have been talking about, we've been linked to in the past and again nothing's materialised. I don't know. Irish Tommy, Fornals is a great player still. I totally agree. Massive work rate, yes, but I don't like it when some fans reduce him to being just a cart horse. He's top class and massively important. 100% agree. I'm not saying that he's been reduced to a cart horse, but what he's done is he's changed his game. It's kind of made him a bit more of an all-rounded midfielder in a way. You know that he can still he's still got the flair, but he's got the work rate as well. And yeah, but that's what Moyes wants. Because if Fornals was going to carry on playing the way he was playing, I don't think Moyes would have. If you remember when Moyes came back to manage the team, one of the first players who dropped when he was actually in form was Fornals. He dropped him to the bench and he went back to use Lanzini, and the Lanzini thing didn't work, so he ended up having to bring Fornals back in. But Fornals has changed the way he plays. I agree with you. He's not a cart horse. He's much, much, much better than that. I've got a lot of respect for Fornals. I think he's a really decent player. Schmiegel, Marco Bugas is coming out of retirement for us one last time. Do you know where his caravan is parked? And maybe we can go and give him a call. Foe, Stel, on one hand, you still maintain we should have kept Haller. I do. I do still maintain that. And on the other, Pellegrini wasted money. Well, Pellegrini, when I say wasted money, Pellegrini went out and spent big money on a few players. He spent a lot of money on Anderson. He spent a lot of money on Haller. And, he spent quite a bit of money on Diop as well. Now, if Moyes had been in charge, well, first of all, I don't think Moyes would have bought any of those three players. But I think we had our pants pulled down with Haller. In terms of how much we spent on Haller, I think we had our pants pulled down. And I think with Anderson, I think we thought we were getting something. Yeah, I think Anderson's first season for us was actually brilliant. What was it? He scored something like 10 goals for us, something like that. And then he had a lull in the second season. Then he was sent out on loan. Um, so if they had maintained the form that they had when they first arrived at West Ham, it wouldn't have been money wasted. But they lost their form for whatever reason. They lost their form. So in that respect, you kind of think, big money spent. Mortra, good evening to you. Hartson and Kitson was definitely the last decent striker partnership we had. You're probably right there. BH, good evening to you. I'm getting about the ST position and CB. I'm getting about the striker position and centre back the most. Yeah, and I think that's I don't think it will even be a striker. I'd love to think that we're going to go out and buy a striker, but I don't think it will happen. I think it will be Lingard, and then Moyes will just mix around that midfield and play false number nines for most of the season, if not all of it. Good evening, Scott. How are you, mate? Can't wait to get back to the iconic, wonderful London Stadium on Monday. Good for you, mate. I might see you there. You never know. I hope you're well. Um, Stop what you're doing. Still, looks like a different. I do. I do. Awful, don't I? BH, I'm getting worried the most about the. You said it, yeah. The striker position and centre back. I did wish him a happy anniversary. Good evening to you, Sabina. I want a beer glass, not a not a t-shirt. Russ and Anton, did you hear that? Beer glasses, please, not t-shirts. Glenn Marshall, logo is way too big. Should be smaller. It's going under your armpit. Fair enough. The merchandising team, I hope you took note of that as well. Mark Thomas, we need a better model. Not really doing the shirt justice. Fair play, fair play. Let's scroll down. Glenn again. Anton, do you have any of the black mugs with number 4 bond? I think they're all gone, mate. I'm sorry about that. But you never know, I might get a few others made up. Jakey boy, good evening to you. What teams would you like to play in the Europa League? I know who I'd like to play. I don't know who's in it. I'd like to play Marseille. I like us to go and play Marseille and get Payet. Can you imagine Payet coming back to the London Stadium? He'll get a nice welcome return, won't he? I don't know who else is in it. I should know. I did have a list before, but we're not going to get Marseille or a team from Spain or a team from Italy or anything. We'll get a team from Kazakhstan or something like that. Ukraine or Russia, where we've got to travel there in midwinter when it's -20, and we'll all get stuck out there because we can't get any transportation back. Planes have been abandoned because too much snow and stuff like that. That's what will happen. But yeah, Marseille is a team I'd be interested in getting. Paul H. He's Scottish. What else do you expect? He's tighter than a Nats. I think you're talking about Anton there. Let's scroll down a bit. Daniela. Been on a Man U site earlier, and they had nothing about Lingard signing a new contract. In fact, they want him to go. They only see Lingard as a squad player. I agree. Bill Sales, good evening, mate. Worrying for me, no word on a striker. Still looking very thin and desperately need a backup for Antonio's inevitable injury. I agree, but I just don't think we're going to get a striker. Hammerwell, Zouma wants to stay in the Premier League and he wants to stay in London. Can't see him being a third choice sub when he can be first with us. Good point. Good evening, Will Becks. Lingard scored in the game behind closed door. Yeah, we've talked about that, and I've heard it's looking more unlikely in well, we discussed this. Yeah, Lingard did play behind the closed doors, to get match fitness. Solskjaer is still bigging him up, saying, part of his plans and all that sort of stuff. But you expect a good manager to do that. You expect a good manager to big up his players. Will he come to us? Well, there was a good comment made earlier that maybe Lingard might sign the extended contract with Man United and then they'll loan him back to us for a season. Would you take that? Would you be happy with Lingard coming back to us for a season rather than coming back to us for good? That might work well for us. Alfie Sambell, transfer news getting a bit depressing now. It's getting a bit depressing because we're kind of like, yeah, no, I agree, Alfie. It is becoming a bit of a concern. Let's not lie. Irish Tommy, all these exaggerated wage reports are coming from Clount and Hugh. They said Abraham wanted 160 grand a week, but he signed for Roma for 80 grand a week. Interesting that. I didn't know that. They're trying to cover for Sullivan's inability to get deals done. Stop what you're doing. I remember the days of losing to part-time bin men for some reason. I think then days are long behind us. Fingers crossed, mate. Kimbo, seriously, Stel, do you think we are getting anyone? I do think we're getting players in. I don't know who though. I still think he's resting all his hopes on Lingard and Zouma. Will we get anyone else in? It'll be a major shock if we get anybody else in. He isn't on here still. Not sure what that was about. I don't know who you mean, but I don't care. Victor Fenn, Clarence Hughes said Zuma is not joining. He's asking for definitely not 140 grand a week. That I agree. I think that's rubbish. Pete Gads, there's a lot of big clubs that need to drop players, and it will trickle down at the last minute for those who wait for a steal, and that's what Moyes is all about, isn't it? Stephen Madden, Lascelles, centre back at Newcastle, club captain there, cheaper than Zuma, fee and wages expected, fit soon. Good shout, good shout. But would they let him go? Would they Newcastle let him go to us? Don't know, don't know. Garino, did Spurs take a heated sand receptacle for liquids and use it once again? Russ, can we get t-shirts made up with? Oh yeah, we've done that one. Russ, did you hear the thing about the logo? Apparently it's too big. People don't want this massive logo. J7, good evening to you. West Ham Network doesn't matter about the other channels. I'm not worried about them. Garino, and by the way, if he's still watching, I wasn't slagging him or his channel off. Garino, Irish Tommy 100%. Point I was trying to make to Stell earlier. Issue is in the board and who does the negotiating and get the deals over the line. I do think it's a bit of both. Play on player. Stop what you're doing. I would never make that first 11, and trust me, neither would Anton. Gaza, too long in the tooth for all this transfer nonsense, mate. So am I. So am I. Let's scroll down. Harry, knowing West Ham, they will wait till the deadline day, like the Benrahma did. Yeah, see, I kind of think that might happen. We're gonna have to bite what's left of our nails off until then. Hammerette player doesn't have the qualities that Moisey wants. Well, would you say he doesn't, or would you say Turam doesn't? Let's go back to those two links. Turam, I don't want to call him a prima donna type player, but he sounds like he is. Whereas player sounds like the type of player that Moyes might like. So I don't know. I don't know. But it'll be interesting if either of them are actually transfer proper transfer stories. To be honest, Malcolm Brown, no transfers this window. We are waiting for our new director of football. Um, well, it doesn't start until the transfer window shuts. Um, Steve Irons, kick up, kick 'em up the arse t-shirt with Dixie tape. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, that'd be nice to have. Fo Garino, I agree. We have the solution in the wings? Rob Newman, our new DOF, currently on gardening leave. He's actually not the DOF. He's if it makes a difference, he's head of recruitment, but not director of football. Does it make a difference? Probably not. Alfie, and I'm back. You know what? My internet keeps dropping out. I mean, you've had it all tonight. You've had me leaving the screen. I haven't been on mute. That's the only thing I haven't been. I haven't been on mute. The camera kept flicking. My internet just dropped. What more from you can you want from a show like mine? Let's scroll down. Where are we? Anthony Jones, the one I would have from Bournemouth is Brooks. Yeah, that's gone quiet because we were linked to him about again last season. I think creative attacking midfielder, long shots. That's a good shout, actually. That's a good shout. Let's scroll down. Mateus Thuram scored a penalty for the French national team, so he's better than Mbappe. Good shout. Um, Lucas, if Moyes wants a Premier proven player, we should go for Nat Phillips, Liverpool. Yeah, that's gone quiet actually. There was talk about Nat Phillips, but that's also quiet. NWO, I take Origi. So would I. I think Origi is worth a shout, but again, it's down to Moyes. Does he think he's worth it? Liam, if Moyes made a load of cheap offers for players, I wonder if teams would accept all of them. Offers within the if they made offers for players, I wonder if they'll accept the cheap offers at the end. Yeah, maybe. Stop what you're doing. Didn't even know I had that Scott M account, and now it won't change over my Happy Hammer account. Is that you, this one and the same person, mate? You're confusing me. Victor, it's been said that Moyes could be saving the transfer budget. He is waiting for Rob Newman to join, who's the new director, head of recruitment. But then what? Then I mean, that means we're going to go until the winter transfer window to maybe buy players then. And Moyes himself has said he doesn't like the winter transfer window, so that must mean we're going to go a whole season without any players. I'd be worried if that happened. I'd be very worried, to be really honest with you. Garino, West Ham sound like Star Trek with a dysfunctional transporter. We tried to get this person, but nothing materialized. Hammerwell would be happy with Origi, Zouma, and Lingard coming on loan with option to buy in January. Yeah, good shout. But again, Origi is in his last year of his contract, so is Lingard. So I just don't think they're going to give them to us on loan. I can't see it. I wouldn't understand why they would do that. Unless we had an agreement, which would be odd, that we get them on loan with an agreement to buy them in January. But then why not just buy them now? I don't know. Steve Irons, happy. I love Fornals, a very skillful player that loves playing for us. He sure does. Good evening to you, Sahel. How are you? Don't you think that players have the right to choose where to go? What does West Ham got to attract? What do we have to attract players? Well, we're in Europe. We've improved. We've got a manager that is trying to change the whole way we play, our whole scouting network, etc. So I would say we've got a lot to offer. I would say we're a team that is finally on the up. So I think we've got a lot to offer, to be honest with you. Mateus, loan of the striker and buying Zuma and Lingard will be the best way for us in this transfer window. Yeah, good shout again. Let's scroll down. Harry again. Moyes will probably sell half our team for a packet of crisps and a milkshake. Let's scroll down again. Good evening, Brownie. Hope you're well. Why all the hate to Dyer show? Everyone knows the transfers can change at the last minute. Well, apparently I've been accused of calling him out, which I haven't. People have their opinions. I'm sure other people slag this channel off in other people's shows. I don't condone it, but yeah, it ain't coming from me, and you can tell that to your friend Dyer as well, rather than him throwing out accusations and stuff like that on the screen. Mark, never heard of this Lingard fella. Is he any good? I don't know. He's the sort of player that Moyes will probably buy and then put him on the bench and say, I'll give you the last 2 minutes of a game, see how you do. Michael Price, still don't ever give up this platform since the change. It's been boring. What change? You mean the change in the West Ham network? I hope not. Martin Osborne, if we have to travel to Russia, at least Sullivan will fit in with his good shout. Good point. Leave Vassallo. Quick question still. What happens to your notes, research papers every week? Do you store them or throw them away? They're all saved on screen, mate. And I am actually thinking about putting them out as I don't know, little snippets and stuff on websites. What do you think? Would that work? Would it work if I sort of put the script up? If I adapted it for, if I edited it for people to read, would people read them? Let me know if you think that, if you will, then I'd be happy to edit the scripts and put them out there on the West Ham network website or other websites, etc. Martin Lewis, Marseille in same pot by all accounts. Agreed. Sahel. Don't you think the players are the? Yeah, you've asked that. Good evening to you, Ponty Berenboy. I wish we could find another Hanu Tiernan. Epic. Bringing Lingard on loan for one season would be the option for us because he could end up being a new Yarmolenko if we buy him. But again, mate, I don't, unless like someone mentioned, if he signs a Man United extended contract, then we get him on loan. That will make sense. But in his last season of his contract, I don't think Man United are gonna let him go on loan. Um, Thank you, Michael. Much appreciated. We're all hammers here, and that's what's important. Schmiegel, still, if we do bring in a striker, who are you hoping it will be? I'm running out of options. I'm running out of options. I wanted Adam Armstrong, who's gone to Southampton, to be really honest with you. I think he would have done well. I think he would have fitted in well for us. Out and out striker, it's difficult. I'm really running out of options because there's so few. There are so few strikers that we're linked to. It's difficult to say who would be a good fit. That's why I'm warming to the idea of bringing Lingard in and then mixing it about and using, I know you won't like it, but using the likes of Yarmolenko or using the likes of Ben Bowen to sort of play that false number 9 in place of Antonio. I'm warming more to that idea. I would like a striker, but I just Adam Armstrong would have been the player I wanted. Yammer the Hammer. I think Origi will only come if he's guaranteed first team football, which he won't get while Antonio is fit. I also think Antonio is going to want to play in Europe. And here's the other thing. This is a really good point, Yammer. What decent striker is going to come to West Ham knowing that he's going to be on the bench until Antonio gets injured? That's the thing. That's the thing. A decent striker, like I think I would have liked Tammy Abraham to come as well. But a decent striker is going to go. I know Moyes plays one up front. I know Moyes is going to favour Antonio. So why should I go to West Ham and sit on the bench? That's the other dilemma we've got, which is why I'm thinking Moyes has pushed himself into a corner. We know Moyes will never play with 2 up front. I don't think he ever has. Correct me if I'm wrong. I really don't think he ever has. So if Moyes doesn't play with 2 up front, what then? A decent striker comes along and he's going to go. People are going, "Oh, we missed out on Dakar, we missed out on Armstrong, etc., etc." But all these players are going to get first team football at the clubs they've gone to, whereas they come to West Ham. There's only one striker spot. And that's the other problem. That's the other problem we're going to have. I know we've got more games, etc., etc. I'm aware of that, but players are going to still come and go. I want to play in the Premier League. I want to play in, Antonio. I want to play in Europe as well. So how many strikers are going to want to do that? Foe, Brownie, no one is hating Dyer or Banter. I think you've misunderstood. Star said Lingard reports on social media, which was reported in. That's all I did. So forgive me if anyone thinks I've insulted them. Robert, we need 8 homegrown players in our 25-man squad. I think we got them. I can't go through them now, but I think we've got. Well, let's go on. Let's try Creswell, and then we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, who's number 9 now? Creswell, Antonio, Lanzini, no, 12, 13, 14. Bowen, Dawson. I'm running out of options, so help me out. I think we have got 8. I think we have. Luke Legend is Kevin Nolan match fit. Step over Sammy. Good evening to you. The original and only Clarets are the mighty Villa United. Well, no. But thanks for mentioning it. Garino, last week of the window will be mad as all clubs will be juggling budgets and finances to get the players they want and rid of those that they don't. I agree. I think there's going to be a lot of madness going on in the last week of the window. Apparently, Sigurdsson is about to sign a 5-year deal with His Majesty's prison service on a free. And Maret, of course, transfer news changes all the time, but I think it's all been misinterpreted, to be honest. Paul Beasley, Moyes is looking for more potato salad in Moyes We Trust. You said it once, you said it twice. It doesn't make it any better. Clive, on the bright side, still we're going into Europe. We absolutely are. Totally agree. Asmej, just checked who's qualified for the Europa League and Marseille are in the group stage. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, I know. Would be nice to play them. But so we're in the group stage as well. Daniela, if Jesse does come back on loan, we must say he has to be available for Europe. Absolutely. Otherwise, there'd be no point. J7, Stella, have you looked into the Maddox brothers yet? Not tonight, mate. Not tonight. Mate, 3 times in a row. Stop it. Come on. Liam, I want to wake up tomorrow and find we've signed Zouma or anybody. Would be nice. You know what would be nice? You know what would be nice? If we get Zouma and Lingard out of the way this week and then spend the last week looking for a striker, that would be exciting, wouldn't it? Not the last week hoping that we're going to sign Zouma and hoping that we're going to sign Lingard. Spend the last week of the transfer. Well, how many have we got left? We're on 17th now, 19th now. We've got 2 weeks left. 19, 20, week and a half left. It would be nice if we spend the last week and a half, as from next week, just focusing on we've got Lingard, we've got Zouma, or we've got a centre back, we've got an attacking midfielder. It would be nice just focusing on a striker. We'd all be relaxed then, wouldn't we? Evan Smith, morning all doubt we would get anyone till last day. So you go and say that. Mihailo Thuram spat in the face of a player. Oh well, so did Masuaku, and we weren't happy about that, were we? Yeah, not a nice thing to do. Not a nice thing to do at all. Yeah, I know. I froze. Yeah, I froze. I'm ungodly. Tommy, there seems to be a disconnect between the quality of players Moyes wants to sign and the club's financial ability to sign. Well, apparently, we've got about 50 million to spend. So it's Moyes juggling about going, okay, so 20, maybe 20 plus add-ons for Lingard. So there goes 20 million. And then 25 for Zouma. There goes the money. And then maybe a cheeky loan bid. Maybe that's what he's doing, but boy, is he leaving it late. Good evening to you, Cyber. I hope you're well, mate. Glenn Marshall, best transfer was when we signed Phil Parks. Absolutely agree. Massive full page photo of him in the sun. Hands out. I remember that. Hands out stretch. Yeah, most expensive goalie at the time. And we were in we were in Division 2 at the time, weren't we? Alfie, thought it was my comment on the screen. Don't worry, I'm back. Global CFC. You want 100 million for Rice and cannot pay 25 million for Zuma. Well, that's because we haven't sold Rice. That's why we can't pay 25 million for Zuma. Not that we're going to sell Rice to you, though. But yeah. What happened there? I have to say this presenter's awesome. Step over. What a gent. Please come to Villa. Look, I'll tell you what. You pay me a fee and I'll do your Villa show. But I'll be talking about West Ham. If you're all right with that, yeah, I'll do a deal with you. I'll do some moonlighting. Let's scroll down. Anton, you'll get 133 subs easily as long as Still doesn't start another beef with. I didn't start any beef with anyone. Hope your mum is okay, Cyber. Everything all right, mate? Oh, I did read a message. So yeah, I hope she's well, mate. Clive, the list of names you mistook for a starting 11 was supposed to be displaying the group emojis. Are you talking to Russ? What's all that about? Emojis. Russ is in charge of emojis. Pete Gads, I still worry, man. You want Rice in a deal for? No, no, no. It's absolutely not going to happen. And did you see what people said about Declan in the game? At the end of the Newcastle game where he was lingering, sort of like taking it all in as if like, oh, that's a sign. He's off. He's off. Shut up. He's not off. Next summer, yeah, not this summer. Good to hear that she's recovering, Cyber. I hope she's well, mate. When is the first Europa game? Because if it's after the January window, don't blame me. No, it's not. It's September, I think. We've got a few Europa League games in September and October. Martin, Glenn Marshall guy down my way was going to be signing goals, but we signed Parks instead. We were going to sign someone else. September 16th. There you go. We were going to sign someone else, weren't we? No, that wasn't Phil Parks. That's when we signed. Oh, damn it. It's before Parks. Oh, I don't remember. My memory's shit. Martin, Glenn Marshall. Oh, you've done that one. Cyber, will we get Super League since we're top 6? Can you imagine if West Ham were into that? I've done that one. You're not catching me out again. Sahel, any player would think twice. Mate, come on. I can't keep repeating the same comments. Let's scroll down. Rob J, hello, mate. If I want to read, I'll go to the library. You keep going as you do still. Thank you very much. That means you wouldn't be happy with me putting out my scripts then. Fair play. P. Gads, I have a feeling Bone and Yarmolenko will shine in the cup games. I have a feeling that quite a few players will shine in the cup games. I totally agree. Let's scroll down. Who else we got? Here we go. Irish Tommy, global. Zouma starting every game for France, is he? Well, he's not. Zuma's not worth 80 million. No, 80 grand a week, I think is what you meant. I don't think we're going to pay 80 million for him. God, that would be a worry. So yes, though, that show ain't about West Ham United. It's about everyone. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. Moyes prefers no one up front and a false number 9. Hang on. Reading and comment. Fat Gitchenko, good evening to you. Moyes prefers, I think you're right. Mateus, Zouma will only be available if Chelsea's transfer. But this is the dilemma. They're waiting to sell someone in order to buy Koundé. So let's just say, let's buy him. Give him 22.5 million. Let's have bloody done with it. And let's get the player in. I wouldn't mind Zouma, to be honest with you. 15 games a season from Rob, not Carol again. Garino, we could attract someone like Seema, maybe Klosek, as they're young enough, but to be willing to change league and play second. That's a good shout, but even those rooms have gone quiet. Hammerwell, does Moyes know what a striker is? He'd probably convert him to a right back. Let's scroll down. Pete Gads, Moyes wants someone who has the drive to work his way into the first team. That is true. I agree with that. Global FC, CFC. It's not my opinion, it's a fact. Zouma would be your best defender. I actually think Zouma would be a good defender. I don't disagree with that. Glenn Marshall, Daka won't be guaranteed playing time. He's on bench warming duty. I think it'll only be a matter of time. Mark Wake, why do we have problems signing a striker? No other clubs in the Premier League. Because I think, as I said earlier, because I think Moyes wants a certain type of player. He wants a clone of Antonio. I think that's it. That's exactly what he wants. He doesn't want any other different type of player. Otherwise, he would have kept Hilaire, wouldn't he? West Sturridge, nowhere near West Ham, I hope, mate. Jumped again. Gaza, if Zouma is that good, why is he not in the Chelsea team? I actually think Zouma is good, to be honest with you. I think he is a decent defender. Who else we got? Let's scroll down. I think I'm going to go to the end. Victor, We're going to lose Antonio. He's going to be playing for Jamaica in the forthcoming 2022 qualifiers. Yep, I mentioned that earlier, mate. He'll be out if he is selected, which sounds like he is. He'll be out in early September and he'll be out again in early October, and then he'll be out because he's injured. Ronda and Tony. Has Moyes signed any player that's not currently playing for England? I don't know. Probably not. Um, it's jumped yet again. I hate it when this jumps. Let's go to Tommy. Anyone know still is the unknown third Chuckle brother? Heard it from a source. Trini, good evening to you. Antonio was born in Wandsworth, London. Yeah, he's a London boy. Step over. I have to say, thank you. Mentioned that already. David M, 12 days to go. That's why it'd be nice to get a player or two in tomorrow. Good evening to you, John. I hope you're well. Thanks for joining, mate. Let's scroll down to Samzini. Good evening to you. Is 3 signings enough though? Feel like we're all saying 3 because it's the minimum we need. No, I've always said I think we needed more. I've kept saying we need a centre back, a left back, and up until recently a holding midfielder, an attacking midfielder, and a striker. I said a 5, but now we kind of look at the squad and we go, right, well, left back is kind of covered because we know Ben Johnson can play there. Holding midfielder, Connor Coventry, he's in. Lanzini's going to drop deeper, so you can argue that we're going to be covered there. Centre back, still need a player. Attacking midfield, still need a player. But now I don't think we're going to get a striker. So it looks like it's gone from like what I thought we needed was 5. It's down to 2. So I agree with you, Zamzini. I don't think 3 is going to be enough. But in Moyes we trust. Daniela, Victor Fenn, not sure about Antonio 31. At 31, Antonio will get in the squad. Have you seen it take? You know what? I think unfortunately, there's been talk about him. I don't know who said it, that they got all his papers sorted. I think he will be picked. I think he will be selected. Um, Step over still, please become a Villa fan. You're the only reason I am envious of West Ham. I'll tell you what, Step over. It's a lot easier for you to become a West Ham fan. You don't have to change your shirt. Just cover the badge up, and then go Hammers. Come on, you Irons. Fanboy. Yeah. I think you should become a West Ham fan, mate, and then you can watch me all the time. The only trouble is we'll have to also watch Anton, who also does shows, and trust me, he's not worth watching. Fo Ogbonna is a Italy international global care group. He was an Italian international, and had he not been injured, he would have been picked for the Italian squad that won the Euros. Epic. Russ is in charge of emojis. Congratulations on the promotion, Russ. Martin Barrett, Chelsea will sign Russ plus no, Martin, no. If you're a Chelsea fan, dream on. If you're a West Ham fan, please, mate, come on. Russ, I'll take that promotion. Head of emojis. Tommy, mate, you crap me up. I've been promising to bring you on the show soon, so I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I promise you I will. Hammerette, Chelsea, yeah, I remember the ones who said Rice wasn't good enough and then spent the last couple of years trying to buy him back. There you go. Let's scroll down. We're near the end. Russ. Hang on. Russ, Bobby Ferguson, we could have had Banks. That's it. That's what I was thinking of. We chose Bobby Ferguson over Gordon Banks. That was a good move, wasn't it? J7. No. You've done it once. You're not doing it again. No, I ain't even reading that. Dazmac, don't know about anyone else, but I'm getting bored of the transfer situation. Same shit, different day. Unfortunately, mate, it does feel that way. Garino, all these ex-players demanding Chelsea, Manu, and co. But I mean, what? Rio, West Ham legend, Rio, backing this PAI buyout, Rio. Oh, and by the way, I'm a West Ham legend. I think PAI should buy West Ham United. And by the way, PAI, when you buy them, can you sell Declan to Man United, please? Is that the deal he's done to back them? I'll back you so long as you sell Declan to. Oh, what the fuck is all that about? Anthony Jones, still he's worth 20 million, but might get him for a cheeky 14 and a half, 14, 15 million. Are you Sullivan in disguise, or you're thinking like him, and that's why we never sign anyone? But you never go in with the asking price. You never do. You never go in with the asking price. You always bid a little bit less. I'm not doing it again, J7. I can see it, but I'm not doing it. Tommy, net curtains or blinds? Blinds. Actually, interestingly, in that window over there, I've got blinds, but in that window over there, Mrs. Choice, bigger window, curtains, but not net curtains. Fucking hell, not net curtains. Fat Gitchenko, I heard my name in English, sounds funny. In Ukraine, it means partisan who runs like a cheetah, and slim as a greyhound. Yeah, that's right, mate. You keep believing. You keep believing that. You keep believing that. I like that one though. Let's scroll down. English Yardy. Antonio, we're smashing goals in for fun in in Europa. Defenses won't be able to handle him. Can't wait for it. I'm so looking forward to the Europa. The West Ham brand will get even more global. Do you think West Ham might change the badge and put West Ham Europe along the bottom? How about that? West Ham Europe. That'll send the fans into a frenzy, wouldn't it? Neil, the Discord is not open to Villa and Chelsea fans. Global CFC. We don't need to sell Zouma to buy. Apparently you do. Apparently, because you've just spent 98 million on what's his face. You know, apparently you do. Another player that you let go. It's great, that isn't it? You let go of all these players, and you got to buy them back for massive amounts of money. We don't need to sell Zouma to buy Kunde. If we want, we can buy 10 Kundes, but just want to do the right thing. Yeah. All right, mate. What's your opinion on Tomiyasu from Sean? I did a thing on Tomiyasu, or Anton did a thing on Tomiyasu about a year or so ago, and Anton loves him. And he does sound like a very decent player, but all that's gone really quiet as well. And he plays at right back and centre back as well, which is also good. Zamzini, Origi has been linked, and he's a Salthouse client. Watch this space. Yeah, but if what we're led to believe that Moyes has now total control of transfers, it doesn't matter whether he's a Salthouse client or not. David M, like to think that if we can bring the best out of Dawson, then what would happen if we get Zouma? Good shout, absolutely good shout. Tommy, Antonio's hamstring will snap as soon as the plane goes over 20,000 feet. Um, Mihailo, don't. It's all right. I'm glad that it's good to have other fans on because they up the numbers. So, by the way, I can't remember the Villa fan's name, and also CFC. Hit the thumbs up, lads. You're on this show. At least hit the thumbs up for the banter. Howard else for the strikers? Let's get signed Lingard. Use Occo Flex and never sparingly, and wait for Haaland next season. Good shout. Ryan the Iron, Stelly Savalas, watching with a beer on my roof terrace in Spain. Do you know what, mate? I don't want to swear, but fuck, which part of Spain you in? Apparently, the missus is booking us a flight to Malaga. She's like, shit weather. We're going away. We've only just come back. Yeah, I know. We're going away. And I had to like, when do you want to go? Mid-September. And I'm thinking, fuck no. Mid-September? What? With all the games going on, Man United game and Europa League starting up, etc. And I went, oh, let me just have a look at my work diary. I'll tell you what, the only week I'm really like work-wise, the only week I'm really free is the first week of September because there's international break. I haven't told her that yet. But yeah, so we're going out of Spain. If you're anywhere near Malaga, let me know, and I'll buy you a beer. FW NWO. That's not true. What did NWO say? I've missed it. Sorry. There's loads of Antonio types, but they're all playing running back in the NFL, pulling their hamstrings synchronized. Liam, anything can happen. Look at Areola. Yeah, true. Had little links here, there, and boom, he's in a West Ham kit. And also look at Danny Ings to Villa. That was a complete surprise as well. Yeah, and that can happen. Absolutely, I agree. Andy Pepper, good evening all. Just got in and logged on. Hope you're well still. Good evening to you, mate. Seeing as you've only just logged on, I'll tell you what we've been talking about. We've been talking about Kurt Zouma, and we think that Moyes is definitely keen on him over anyone else. But if we don't get Kurt Zouma, maybe Dush Caleta-Car might be another backup. There have been others, but I haven't bothered to list them. I think he's still holding out for Jesse Lingard. But then if we don't get Jesse Lingard, there's talk about Marcus Thuram. But I said I don't think Marcus Thuram is a Moyes type player, whereas Alazane player is a much more likely player that Moyes would favour. And then I completely ballsed up because I forgot to put the proper details about Luke de Jong, but I don't think he's coming to West Ham anyway. So there you go. You didn't miss much, Andy, and I hope you're well. What else have we got down here? Luke Smith. Moyes will not sign for the sake of signing. Agreed. No point signing 4 or 5 players to play in reserve. We already have a reserve team that can step up. Good shout. We do have. I mean, I know people kind of laugh about it and go, "Oh my God, you must be kidding." But we have got players, back up. Our first 11 is probably the 11 that started at the weekend against Newcastle. But then we do, there are other players. There is Diop. I think Diop is decent. I think he can do a good job. There's Ben Johnson. I think he can do a good job. Fredericks has been looking good in pre-season. I know a lot of people don't like him, and even I sort of suggested that maybe he might go, but it looks like he might be staying. All right, Yarmolenko. If he stays fit, if he doesn't get injured, Yarmolenko could do a job for us as well. Lanzini, if he's and it is, and I do understand it all boils down to whether these players can stay injury free. Lanzini, Yarmolenko, Fredericks, they're all injury prone. That's the problem. But they are half decent players, and is it enough? No, I would be inclined to say it's not. I still think we need other players, but and then we got the youngsters. Moyes talked about Jamal Baptiste. He said I want him around the first team squad. So there's a sniff there. Maybe that boy might play a few games in cup games, etc. There's one or two others we've already mentioned. Oko Flex, he looks decent, and apparently the coaches are saying that Thierry Nevers, who we signed from Reading, is likely to be one of the players that can break through quicker than anticipated. So I think you're right. Now, will that be enough for Europa in the Premier League? Probably not. You don't want to throw too many youngsters in at the same time because that could be dangerous. But maybe Moyes is looking around. That's why he's got the youngsters playing a lot closer. The under 23s played at the London Stadium the other night, and maybe Moyes is thinking there might be a bit, might be a bit of talent here that I can make use of. Um, Clive, is Antonio the first Jamaican international we've had? I dare say he probably is. I think he is. We had who did Shaka play for? Was he? I'm trying to think. Was he Trinidad and Tobago or something like that? Or did he even play for them? I don't know. Glenn, Trinidad. There you go. Thank you. Glenn, change his badge Villa shirt with West Ham Aston. Change his badge on the Villa shirt with West Ham Aston. Ooh. And there he is, step over. I don't think why you're all laughing for. Still is a witty host and Rice is too good for you lot. He just That's why I'm witty because I laugh at things like that. But Sammy, mate, you make me laugh as well. So thank you for that. Schizo, hi, still, mate. I'm not going over it again. I'm sure you just saw me going through what we did just now. Didn't know we were eyeing up Banks. We were, yeah. But there you go. Typical West Ham. So you think it's bad now? We were eyeing up. Was he the World Cup winner? No, it was before the World Cup. We were eyeing up the best goalkeeper in the world, or to become the best goalkeeper in the world, and then we decided not to bother with him. Anyway, Trini. So it's not just now. We got a history of it. With transfers. Trini, Chelsea make me laugh. They let Rice go, stating he was not good enough. We develop him for them. Now they want him back. Jog on, come on, comes to mind. Agreed. Another one I forgot to mention: Connor Coventry in the team as well. Jack Allen, Oko Flex. He, looking interesting, isn't he? Mateus, Lingard is what we want the most, but not necessarily we need the most. Yeah. Good point there. Good point. Because a lot of people would, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a striker or would you rather have Lingard? Tell me what you think. Um, yeah, that was shit, Anton. Really, really poor, mate. Sean, don't you think Tomiyasu could be a good replacement if we don't get Zuma? Um, I don't know enough about him. It's been a long time since we talked about Tomiyasu, so I can't say I know enough about him to honestly say. Uh, I think I'd prefer Zuma. Side, but apparently Luke de Jong were interested in it. Well, yeah, you saw the catch up, and I've talked about him already. Schizo, Foma, good bro, I hope you're well. You would, yeah, I know I would, because you, Anton. The trouble with you, mate, is you get stuck on one player, and it's got to be. Oh, Winston Reed, Winston Reed, Winston Reed. And you can't see any further that you blinkered. Tomiyasu, blinkered. Stop it, mate. Come on, it's more to life. Um, Sean, don't you think? Oh, yeah, already said that one. Global, that's football for you. You can't get everything right all the time. I'll tell you the trouble with CF Chelsea, mate, is you get so many youngsters in. You get so many. You scoop them all up. Then you send them all out on loan, and you don't know who the bloody hell's out there. And your diamonds in the rough, you miss out on them because you've got so many on your books. You cannot see the diamonds in the rough, and I think that's what's happened. We've just got Equa off you, Pierre Equa. And I think he's going to be another Declan Rice. He's going to become a player that's going to be a class player, and that's the problem with Chelsea. There's too many, too big. Your youth squad is massive. You make good money out of them. You loan them all out to all these Scandinavian clubs and etc. etc. And you make a hell of a lot of money out of them. But that means you end up losing out. Yeah, you peak out. Stop it, mate. Don't encourage Anton. And I think that's why you lost Declan, because you've got so many players that your coaches and everything can't, they can't keep an eye on all of them, and I think that's why you lost Declan. Correct me if I'm wrong. Daniela, West Ham signed Japanese international Yui Hasagawa. Oh, sorry. I know, and I don't know if you watched my show on Monday night, Daniela. I'm really trying to be more inclusive, and I talked about the under 18s and the under 23s and the women's squad as well. Talked about a couple of signings, and yeah, I did read that one, but I didn't have time to get any more detail on her. But I will include her in my show on Monday night when I do a roundup of the whole week. Motra, to be fair, Rio has lost any credibility he might have once had. I don't think he had any credibility, did he? When he puts up a sign up wherever, Twitter or wherever, of Man United and going United home, it's like, leave off, mate. Um, Revo, sorry I'm late. Another 30-second roundup. I've done it already, mate. But okay, all right. Last roundup. Okay. We talked about Zouma. We think that Zouma is the player that Moyes really wants. But if not Zouma, it could be Caleta-Car. There are other defenders, but I've not bothered because they're all pointless. Jesse Lingard, I think, is the player that Moyes really wants as well up front. But if we don't get him, someone suggested Marcus Thuram, but I don't think he's a Moyes style of player. Alizane player is another player from not Marseille, from Mönchengladbach, who's much more of a style of player that Moyes would like. And then Luke de Jong, and I've got all his details wrong, is another player we've been linked to. But again, I don't think that's going to happen either. There you go. Right, let's finish off the show because I've done an hour and 48 minutes. It's almost like a West Ham weekly. And Hammerwell, Stella's a double of Sutherland's, short arms and deep pockets. Hammer, I'd be extremely surprised if Villa finished in the top four. I think even Villa would be extremely surprised if they finished in the top four. Gavin, hello, mate. Everyone's worried about offence while we've got a serious goals issue a goals against issue. Creswell can't play with or without him. He can't cover. We have no cover in Soufal. Goes down. Centre back. Look, I think our defence is better than you say there, but I won't deny we are leaking goals, and that is a worry. We let two really poor goals in against Newcastle on Sunday. I think I think Moyes will get a defender in, but as I said, I think on left back we've got Johnson, and I think on right back cover Johnson could play there as well, but also Fredericks as well. Now I know a lot of people don't favour Fredericks. A lot of people see Fredericks as the right-sided Masuaku in a way. Great going forward, not so great defending. But I think we're kind of covered, and maybe that's why Baptista's there as well, maybe to provide a bit more cover. Let's scroll down a bit more. Jordan, hello, mate. I hope you're well. I think Villa will finish around mid-table. We should finish at least 8th with our squad compared to others. Days banter, you're back. I hope you've seen all the other comments, etc. Divock Origi signed a long-term contract with Liverpool in the summer of 2019. It's until 2024. If Liverpool don't want to sell him, he's tied down. I think it's 2023, but I will check it. And if you're right, thanks for correcting me. Liam, would you be happy if we signed Edouard? It is 24. Okay, I made a mistake there. So maybe Origi is a player that could come out on loan to us this season. Liam, would you be happy if we signed Celtic striker Edouard? Yeah, I think a lot of people think he's a decent striker, but will we sign him? I don't know. Again, Edouard, would he come and sit on the bench waiting for Antonio, to be injured before he gets a game? Global. We spent 97 million on Lukaku, but we sold players worth over 100 million. Fair play. Fair play. Vinay, but you're still not getting Declan unless you want to spend 120 million. Vinay, I think Maximum is slightly better than Grealish, who might flop at sea. I think you're right. I think Grealish is bitten off a lot more than he can chew there. I don't think he's going to be a success, but I don't care about Grealish because this ain't a Man City show. Stop what you're doing. Villa to finish bottom half of the table, in my opinion. That Grealish's loss would be too much for them. They've got Ings. Ings, if he stays fit, will hammer them in for them. Sorry, Yammer. Take no notice of the silly Villa fan. I've lived 5 minutes from Villa Park for the past 20 years, and Villa fans are more deluded than the Spuds. Here we go. Step over. I'm going to laugh at you lot when Villa get top 4. I'm glad you like, mate. Thank you very much. And I'll tell you what, we'll have you on the show if you get top 4, and we'll have a chin drag. Any other notable Jamaican internationals Antonio can scout for us? What's his name that used to play for us? Used to be the Man U boy and came to us and was a problem. What's his name? His name's gone. He plays for Jamaica. Damn it, his name's gone. Morrison. That's it. Not Van Morrison though. So there you go. You might get Morrison back to play for us. Global again. We are getting Tushameni as an alternative for rice. Keep your rice, mate. Fine. It's jumped again. Bloody hell. Sorry, people, it's jumped again. So any comments above this have gone, I'm afraid. Yeah, we've done that one. We've done that one. Hang on a minute. Have I gone too far up? What would you do without Antonio? Don't know. Tell me, what would we do without Antonio? Gavin, we've done Gavin's. We've done Divock Origi. We've gone down to almost the end of the show. You're in Fuengirola. Well, if you're inviting me, I'll see you there. Mark, Moyes knows what players he wants, so we have to wait and see. And unfortunately, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Step over. I love this. Jordan, your squad is better than Villa's. Yes, it is. How delusional? No, we're not. Can one person be Gordon Bennett? Who's Gordon Bennett? Is he in your squad, mate? How much is he worth? English Yardy. Rio is a laugh. He's hating on our club with Declan comments about Man U joining them. Rio can kick rocks at his brother Anton. Oh dear. Tommy, step over will be on antidepressants by January. Step over. It's all banter, mate. That's why you got to become a West Ham fan. Then you don't listen to your boring Aston Villa pods or whatever you listen to. Come and have fun here. We take the piss out of you. You take the piss out of us, and we'll still finish above you in the league. Hammerette, I very much doubt you'll be here every stream. Step over. You never know. He might be. Still, you said 30 minutes ago you're closing the show. Did I? I'm closing the show any minute now. Scrolling down to the end. Let's scroll down to. Let's scroll down to. There we go. Vinay. Arteta had a 3-year contract with Arsenal Fan TV, and he's doing fine. Arsenal Fan TV? You won't get set. Arteta. Anthony Jones. Only people Moyes can turn into Antonio are Traore. Yeah, and there's been talk about him and Sam Maximin. I've got to be honest, he did run us ragged in the first half. And then, what we were saying up in the terraces was going, someone's got to just lay into him. So it puts him out of kilter. And then finally, I think it was when we scored our second or third goal. Finally, Declan woke up and got the ball off him and like gave did no, it was clean. It was a clean tackle, but it got the ball off him. And then when we scored our goal, that was the end of Sam Maximum. I wonder, he's all right, but oh. Clive Best, if I don't know if Russ is still watching, but I put Clive Best in my Hammers 11. Yes, I'm that old to remember seeing him play. Paffertree, good evening to you. Hello, Yawn from Northern Carolina. Girlfriend was from Essex, got me into West Ham, loving your channel. Thank you for joining us, mate. Thank you for coming on, and I'm glad you're enjoying the show. Um, Stop what you're doing. Oh, where did that go? Stop what you're doing. There was a comment there which I think was pertinent, and now I can't find it. So I'm afraid, yeah, it's gone. Sorry, mate. I was going to talk. You were going to talk about Antonio and getting injured, but it's disappeared. Um, English Yardie, check my West Ham email. London Stadium will have a concert in 2022. The Foo Fighters, does the concert proceeds go towards transfer money? Got nothing to do with us, unfortunately. I know we have a late show tomorrow night. Don't worry about that. That's Friday night. Don't worry about that. Stop worrying. Yeah, nothing to do with West Ham. We won't get a penny. It goes to the owners of the stadium, and that could be another thing. I was go on then. Farewell. Get lost. You weren't doing very well in the chat anyway. And that's the other thing. I could talk about PAI. I really, really don't want to though. Ponty. What happened to Hans van Aken from Bruges? We were interested in. Yeah, another one that I think was in the Pellegrini days, and that's gone all quiet. Apparently, he turned us down. Didn't want to come to West Ham. Epic. No disrespect, but the Scottish League is a pub league. I'm not convinced Edouard can hack it in the Premier League. A lot of people think he can, and there have been some successes, but I don't know. Gebertino, hello, mate. I hope you're well. I think the game versus Leicester is crucial. Crucial. It's only our second game of the season, mate. Come on. Early, yes, but means we can test ourselves against a team who have come well. Well, we beat them twice last season. Let's not forget. Beat them twice. Mortrand, Diop just doesn't have many classy days. Always an accident waiting to happen. Gets the odd goals. I think he's been doing a lot of work with the defensive coaches pre-season, and he's looked all right. He's looked all right when he stepped in for Ogbonna when he was injured. I don't know. Maybe you might see a bit of a different Diop this season. Daniela, England midfielder Jesse Lingard, 28, is ready to leave Man United before the transfer window closes, unless he believes he's going to play regular football for Solskjaer's team this season. Where have you read that? Let's scroll down. Gavin reminds me of Villa's record with Grealish last season. I don't know what that's in context, so apologies. Mark, Rio is arrogant and big-headed. Every club that joins manure must be in their genes. Yeah, you know. Am I? We'll see about that. Who else we got? I am gonna scroll down and say that's it. That's it. Right. These are last few, and then I'll go. Dan Palmer. What did Dan Palmer say? Sorry, I've missed that comment. No, because he'll be injured playing in Jamaica. This is what I'm worried about. If you're talking about Antonio, then misses most of the season. It's ironic. We are worried. We are worried. Last comment, and then I'm gone. Jesse played on Tuesday. Yep, we've talked about that. Steve Hammershark, he played on Tuesday, scored a goal, getting match fit. English Yardie, still, I thought we owned the stadium. Unfortunately not. But the property around the stadium, no, we don't own the stadium, mate. If only we did. And that's why PAI want the stadium. But the only problem with PAI is that they can't do what they want with the stadium because we're sitting tenants and they can't get us out. I mean, say what you like about Karen Brady. Business wise, hot shot. Everything else when it comes to football, she knows nothing. But when it comes to business, Karen Brady apparently has got us so sealed into that stadium that even if someone else comes and buys the stadium, they can't get us out. or they can't. I don't think they can increase our rent or anything like that. That's it. We're there, and that's why PAI want not only the stadium, but they want control of West Ham United, because when they have control of both, they can do what the fuck they want. And if they decide that West Ham no longer should be playing at the stadium because they own us, they can actually go and say, well, for the greater good, our investors, we need to, change the stadium, etc., etc. And unfortunately, it's, we can't afford to have West Ham in there. Might move us out. Going ground share with Leighton or something like that. But also, if you listen to, I didn't want to get into this, but anyway, very quickly, if you listen to Philip Beard's interview on Monday or Tuesday on Talk Sport, he talked about, attracting a wider audience to West Ham. Now, we already moan that apparently we've got a lot of tourists that go and watch West Ham games and the atmosphere ain't great. Imagine PAI. Now, he talked about, trying to get seats closer. You can get seats closer, but you know what will happen? It'll make the space between the upper tier and the lower tier bigger. What's going to fill that space? Boxes. Boxes, expensive boxes that the people will pay for. That's what will fill that space. All your corporates are going to go in there, laughing it all up. They're not going to be effing West Ham fans. They're going to be whoever. They're just going there for a jolly. Imagine that. That's how you fill the gap when you push the seats closer, because you've got a bigger gap down from the lower ground from the lower tier to the upper tier. What do? You fill the gap. You fill the gap with more tourists. Rich tourists, corporates. That's how they're going to make their money. But they can't do all this if they don't own West Ham and they don't own the stadium. They need both in order to do what they want. It ain't going to be, you talk about it not being West Ham now. Wait and see what will happen if they took over. You being in corporate, James? Yeah, is it fun? I mean, yeah, you get free drink and all that, but what atmosphere do you get there? And not all corporates are full of West Ham fans. You get a few, but you won't get a lot of them. Anyway, that's it. Thank you all for joining. It's been a pleasure, as usual. Join us tomorrow night for the Late Late Show. Not that this was a Late Late Show, but we have gone 2 hours. Much appreciated. Thanks for all the banter. Thanks for all the comments. And we'll see you all tomorrow night.